Hey, how's it going, everybody? Charlie Wilson here, aka Sinister Charlie. Welcome back. Hi, it's good to see you again. We're doing something a little different. Lessons in Internet Culture is the channel. I'm not subscribed, but I've seen it pop up a couple times. You got two, huh? All right, we'll do both. It's weird. Anyway, I've seen it pop up a couple times. I've never really. I think I watched like one video. I can't remember what it was, but it's a pretty good synopsis of like just memes of the time, I guess. And this is about Steam. Steam keeps winning. I like Steam. I've got no problems with this Steam. They seem to be pretty good to their customers. I've messed around with GOG a little bit. GOG has some older games that I like, so I've contributed to that. Anyway, why do they keep winning? Go. Why? I need to know. I need to know.
Despite seemingly doing nothing, Steam just keeps on trucking and earning millions of dollars.
Sure.
In fact, right now, Valve, Steam's parent company, makes more money per employee than Facebook, Apple, and Microsoft at around $3.5 million. That's absolutely bonkers money for a company that essentially runs a platform for distributing video games and has done so since 2003. Gabe Newell, Valve's creator, has racked up a net worth of approximately $11 billion,
Jesus.
and again, he hasn't really done anything crazy over the
That's winning, dude. Look what he's doing there. That's winning, brah. I love that guy, man.
past few years, such as chasing trends or latching onto AI to sell his work. In fact, you've probably already played or seen footage of the games he helped develop, such as the Half-Life franchise.
It's funny, I've never played Half-Life. I have played Team Fortress. It's a good game. I never played Half-Life.
Team Fortress, Portal, and Counter-Strike. In comparison to the rest of the fast-paced gaming industry, he sits back and watches his babies bring in the money. However, it's the fact that he isn't doing anything that is actually him doing something. The gaming industry is becoming increasingly bloated over the years with microtransactions, annoying ads, and frustrating user agreements. Steam has remained relatively streamlined, accessible, and easy to use over the decades, making it an attractive choice for those who just want to play games and not deal with the fluff. Not to mention the constant sales on the platform, which work to serve the consumer more so than greedy corporations, leading to trends acknowledging the fact that it's all too easy to throw money out of your wallet whenever they occur. Steam takes a 30% commission from every
There's just the spirit got me, man.
sale of a game, which is fairly steep, but the company has remained so successful over the years that they've never changed it. In fact, when Epic Games made millions from Fortnite's microtransactions, they briefly attempted to take on the king of gaming platforms with their Epic Games launcher. With extremely competitive rates and the ability to poach major releases as exclusives for up to a year, it seems like they were ready to take on Steam for the crown. However, Steam responded by changing nothing, and it would appear it has still come out on top.
Well, there you go. Sometimes you don't have to do anything, man.
Steam has faced Epic, EA, Blizzard, Amazon, Google with their now defunct game streaming service Stadia, and Microsoft with Xbox.
I forgot all about Stadia. There's a lot of people who are trying to do that. Netflix was trying to do some gaming stuff for a while. It's like you can't. Steam has created this perfect system. So I don't. It's like trying to beat Google or trying to beat YouTube. It's just not going to happen.
Store, which looked great for a while thanks to its cheap Game Pass, which has now, unfortunately, skyrocketed in price and is less value for money. Notably, the war against Epic Games was one of the biggest and flashiest, thanks to Epic launching its own storefront after the smash hit success of Fortnite, giving it megabucks. As stated prior, Epic tried promising tactics, charging a far less substantial fee to game developers, as well as releases exclusive to its storefront and free games on a regular basis. This seemed to work for a short time, but it wasn't long before Epic realized all the money it was constantly throwing at its own storefront in an attempt to beat Steam was for naught. Steam remains one of the most popular gaming platforms in the world, simply due to the fact that it has had enough time to become incrementally better with every update, without adding too much bloat or annoying features that detract from the experience. Epic's own storefront felt clunky and weird upon release, and it is extremely annoying for gamers to have to open.
Yeah, but also Epic Game was geared mainly towards children. It wasn't directed towards adult gamers, I don't think. I don't know, something like that. That's the way I feel about it anyway.
Different launchers with accounts and authentication and figure out what game goes in what library. People just want ease of access, to be able to click on something and have it just work. And multiple accounts for multiple storefronts and launches simply takes away from that simplicity. Hence, despite Steam being more expensive for developers to publish their games through, it still beats Epic. Meanwhile, Ethan Evans, former VP of Amazon Prime Gaming, said Steam beat Amazon despite the resources of the larger company because it was a store, a social network, a library, and a trophy case all in one, and it worked well. The only storefront that seems to compete in Steam's niche is GOG, aka Good Old Games, which doubles as a place where older games...
I just call it GOG. I didn't know what to call it. I just found it one day. I wasn't advertised to for it. I was just looking for some like older games. I was looking for Resident Evil, the original, and GOG had it. So I think that's where GOG's good. Good Old Games. A lot of those older games like Dino Crisis and stuff like that. Yeah, I gotta play some Dino Crisis.
Games are repackaged to work on modern hardware. Plus, GOG has its own launcher that combines every other launcher into one place called GOG Galaxy, so it's clear they understand what people actually want rather than ham-fisting in bloated features. Not to mention Steam has its own console called the Steam Deck, which allows people to easily play games in their Steam library when out and about. Right now, it's not as powerful as other handhelds out there, but the fact that it works so seamlessly and so consistently makes it an extremely popular piece of technology, ultimately ensuring users return to Steam despite the alternatives. As a result of these consistent wins against other companies, it's worth taking a look at the personality behind Steam, Gabe Newell, whose relatively laid-back attitude may be responsible for giving rise to the platform's popularity with gamers.
Gaben.
61-year-old Gabe Newell, often known as Gaben due to his username, is the creative and entrepreneurial driving force behind Steam's success. Over the years, he's managed to create an almost cult-like fan base that consistently boosts his celebrity status, despite the man basically just being a huge nerd.
Sure, people talk shit at me in chat, and about once a week people say, hey noob, uninstall the game, but that's really about their enthusiasm for the game.
I think he said go fuck your mother.
It's that nerdiness that fans find endearing, as the popularity of gaming has only increased over the years, making enigmatic figures such as Gabe prominent icons of the industry. After all, as mentioned prior, his company Valve is responsible for some of the most famous games of all time, like Half-Life, which only exists because Gabe initially worked for Microsoft and wanted to show that games could run well on the Windows operating system, which he had helped develop. Valve then launched Steam in 2003 as something of a launcher/updating system for Half-Life and its mods such as Counter-Strike, which at the time a lot of people hated because it was initially clunky and weird while accessing their games. Steam started turning into a storefront for Valve games, and then it became a third-party publisher, removing the need for developers to distribute their products.
Yeah, back when all this was happening, I'm pretty sure I was still in the Navy, and we were all just playing Call of Duty on our PlayStation 3s. Yeah, I never really was into computer gaming. I started getting more into it now with like Civilization and stuff. But yeah, that's good stuff.
Brick-and-mortar stores, reducing costs dramatically and allowing flexibility unheard of at that time. The ability to digitally download, update, and patch a game was not extremely popular during this era, as internet speeds were far slower, but Gabe was able to see the future and where it might be headed. As mentioned prior, other platforms have tried and failed to take a slice of Steam's success, as it would appear they ran the issue of going against a launcher that simply cornered a large chunk of the market extremely early, becoming the go-to distributor for games that almost every PC gamer has installed already. Meanwhile, the cult of Gabe's personality and working style runs through Valve's ethos from the company's employees, who operate within what is known as a flat organization. Essentially, instead of a traditional hierarchical structure within a company, almost everyone is able to cross departments at will without lording it over others.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It seems weird, but in this instance, it works well, given the results of making more money per employee than the other tech giants. However, Valve has come out and said that this style did lead to poor production in the 2010s, although employees have said they still work this way. Meanwhile, it would appear this laid-back attitude has manifested in Gabe Newell's later lifestyle.
Gabe Newell's daily routine is get up, work, go scuba diving. Says he's been retired for a long time, but works 7 days a week. The things I get to do every day are super awesome. Yeah, I'm working from my bedroom, as you can tell. I love this guy so much. Someday.
As he says he's technically retired, but still works 7 days a week doing whatever he wants. He likes to hang out at his boats and go scuba diving, and it's great to see a ridiculously rich billionaire actually do cool shit with their money rather than attempt to chase trends and only garner more power. This is why Steam, despite not really doing anything new or innovative, is so refreshing in its existence. It reflects Gabe Newell's personality as a powerful player on the market that has made it to the top, yet doesn't appear to want to exploit its customers for as much cash as possible simply because it doesn't need to. The consistent ability for Steam to continue winning has become one of note, thanks to its ability to make corporate executives scratch their heads, wondering why gamers always use it instead of their own launchers. Not to mention the fact that the marketplace Steam has implemented has also had real-world effects, as the changes to the Counter-Strike 2 items have led to some skins losing over $1 million in value and others skyrocketing. Also, Steam ended up seeing more players on Battlefield, EA's own native title, than EA's own storefront and launcher simply because it couldn't keep up with the influx of users. However, whilst the idea that Gabe Newell does nothing and keeps winning has become something of a trend, it's not entirely true. All of Valve's attention seems to be directed toward ensuring Steam continues to work as a well-oiled machine, instead of toward making new games and experiences. Deadlock is on the horizon as a MOBA hero shooter, yes, but Half-Life Alyx was arguably the last big release, and that came out way back in 2020 as a VR exclusive. As a result, it makes sense that the company would focus on their main moneymaker, and with data showing Steam to be the most popular game distribution platform in the world, why wouldn't they focus on constant small improvements? In short, Steam keeps winning because it seems to be in a privileged spot of popularizing the idea of the digital publishing platform when others couldn't see so far into the future, as well as ensuring its storefront remains streamlined, free, and easy to access in the current day compared to other companies, despite its 30% take from all game developers. See you next time on Lessons in Internet Culture.
Yeah, that was a really good video. I got lost in that. Good stuff. Yeah, go sub to, I know he needs my help. Go sub to Lessons in Internet Culture and Lessons in Meme Culture. Yeah, I stick with Steam. I don't really go on PlayStation anymore. It's just doesn't seem worth it. The experience is the same, or if not better on PC, but yeah, there you go. Fun stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe down below. Makes me feel good. The channel gets bigger, maybe. Stuff happens. The elves in the machine, ghosts in the shell, something like that. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, and bye.